Hello, everyone, and welcome to RGL Season 6, Week 8 and 7. We have a double header tonight here with first we have Froyo versus GlobalClan Ice, and second we have Froyo versus Forward Gaming. So, two big matches, two teams that all three of them, hopefully, if everything goes in according to plan, should make playoffs here. So we should have some pretty big TF2 here. And joining me, we have Rogue. How you doing, Rogue?
Doing great, Space Ghost. Thank you. I'm with full disclosure, of course, I haven't been following this season of Sixes very intimately, so I'm going to be experiencing the action live and for the first time. Just like everyone remembers that first time. It's exciting to be getting into the season here. There's a lot of course, familiar names and a lot of people keeping great shape from the seasons past. So I'm looking forward to watching these matches with you.
Yeah, we should have a good one. First up, we do have Froyo versus GlobalClan Ice, and both these teams. Froyo, obviously, I think already mathematically they're already in playoffs, and almost assuredly going to get the 1 seed unless an upset can happen here. But GCI, they've had some hiccups here and there, but they're still very much probably going to make playoffs unless the Jug Dealers can pull off a miracle. So GCI here, even though they're the underdog, they do want to win this match because A, winning is good, and B, they want the match points. They want extra quality, extra assurance that they really lock their playoff seed and hopefully get a high seed so they don't have to play against Froyo first off.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see, like you had mentioned that froyotech is such a favorite in this matchup, especially based on their record so far being 12-0 in the season, undefeated as of right now. I'm very excited to see GlobalClan Ice's performance here. Like, how close can they make the rounds? How close can they make the fights? Right? We want to see a close match, of course, just for fun, for the fun of it, for the spectacle of it all, but also because going up against a team like Froyo against the classically best team, well, basically in history in TF2, right? You know. Once GCI is able to feel themselves out more and more, get more and more comfortable going into playoffs, that's what matters to me.
Yeah, definitely. I do see. It must be a ringer. I do see Marmalou in the server tagged up as GCI Corsa. So very exciting to see Corsa, aka Marmalou, playing in this match on the soldier class. It looks like the soldier that they're missing. It's not. It's not Sin. It's their other soldier, Rakusa. That's it. So Rakusa. I don't know where he is, but we have Marmalou filling in, and a very worthy substitute. Having Marmalou in your team is always a big advantage, and that actually might I might have to. Rakusa is no slouch, but Marmalou definitely, might have to bump him up a few notches because Marmalou just has the factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what a great ringer to get. That's always one of my favorite players to watch in Sixes here because even I'm telling you, Space, it's between 2013, 15, 17. Every year this guy is coming in the server, you're like, you got to watch out because he's still got it. He's pretty good, right? He's always ready to play and is going to fill in those slots really well. So nice choice of a ringer to bring, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Now the map is CP Sunshine. We should probably go over the rosters first. I'll take Global Clan Ice. So for Global Clan Ice, we have Catface and Caps on Scout, Marmalou and Sin on Soldier, Sin Karma on Demo, and May on Medic.
And repping for you, we have Slemnish and Banny on Scouts. We have Blaze and Mirror Man on Soldier. And of course, we have Habib and none other than Skis running it out on Demo and Medic, respectively.
Yeah, good old skis. I will say it's kind of funny that the one player that's missing isn't because they have Sin and Sin Karma, right? Which always makes it confusing. I'm sure in cast and in calls. And the one soldier they're missing is the one that doesn't help with the whole Sin/Sin scenario. A little bit to note, but
Classic blunder.
yeah, classic mistake. I will say Sunshine is kind of I'd say a scout map, so it's going to be interesting to see how much impact Marmalou can have on the game because I think Sunshine's considered one of the classically good scout maps, kind of like Process. So I'm curious to see how much impact he can have on this match, and I'm also excited to see the soldiers of froyotech how they're able to get the impact out because again it's a very wide open map, a lot of big open bombing spaces, so soldiers can get in, but they don't live for very long usually. It's kind of a tough one. How do you for this match? I know I haven't watched the season, but what do you think the score for this match is going to be? How do you think it's going to go?
Score prediction. You know what? Just going off of my gut, looking at the records, I got one eye on the chat, one on the game. I'm thinking I would guess about a 5-1 in favor of froyotech.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I'm going to say a 5-2 or 3. I think I think GCI they're a little more unpredictable than the other high invite teams. So I think there's definitely potential here that, I think they can pull out some stops sometimes. They've had a little oopsies throughout the season, but overall they're pretty good. So I think they definitely have some potential here.
Tell me what makes them unpredictable.
Well, first they did lose kind of a big upset to Cat Posse, but they also managed to, I believe they rolled Witness Gaming, who was the pretty definitive #2 team. They kind of rolled them 5-0 on process early on in the season, so it's definitely kind of like sometimes they lose and you don't expect it, but sometimes they win and you don't expect it. So they definitely have the kind of chaos factor. That's my analysis of that.
How exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see, what kind of chaos is manifested, right? Is it kind of crazy aggression? Is it kind of like 1-2 plays of players being well coordinated? Is it off classes going into something like last? So yeah, I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah. I will note that this incarnation of Froyo, they've been pretty dominant so far throughout the season, but I will say that, I think there's still some question marks, definitely some opportunities for them to, take an L or two, because they do have basically, I mean, they have one new player, but they kind of shifted around classes a bunch. Mirrorman, longtime froyotech ringer, now actually on froyotech, and Banny back on scout, Slemnish on scout. Whenever you see Banny and Slemnish on your team, you shouldn't be worried about them, but they definitely do have it's not been as smooth sailing as seasons past we've seen. There's definitely more upset potential than you'd expect.
Yeah, I'm interested in these scouts in the way that maybe like you said that they're not as strong players to win a game, but the problem with froyotech is they're also not players that will lose you the game, right? You look at Slem, you look at Bandy, and you think they're not, how many mistakes are they going to make? You can count them on one hand by the end of the game, right? So even if you get some openings, even if they're not putting up that like 1.5 KD, 1.7 KD, they're still going to be just impossible to kill. They're still going to be making the right decision on mid. They're still going to be holding it down on these last holds and last pushes. So even though maybe they don't have that same kind of fire, they at least have the excuse me, but I guess they have the ice, as it were.
Nice pun. Yeah, that is one thing to note. I will say that I think people sleep on the. I can't believe I was about to say that Banny slept on, but the Banny scout definitely. I don't think he's as standout as Slemish in terms of whenever it says who's the best scout in North America. Pretty much most people will say Slemish right off the bat. Banny, he has the movement, he has everything, and he also has just one of the best teammates I personally have ever played with. He's definitely up there, and like you said, they're not going to make much mistakes. So if GCI are going to take this match, they're going to have to, they have to capitalize on every opportunity they're given. If you get an opportunity against Froyo and you just let it kind of go to the wayside, it's not going to end well for you. You have to take advantage of everything you get against Froyo because they give you so little mistakes to work off of.
I'm trying to remember the name. There's some kind of, I believe it's an economic term of, it's sort of like a catch-up kind of topic where when a team like froyotech is so dominant for so long, they kind of like paved the way and figured out the way to play Team Fortress 2. But for the other teams, they don't necessarily have to invent the wheel. They have to sort of learn from froyotech and get closer and closer to what they're doing. Like, if someone invents a computer, someone else doesn't have to start with inventing electricity. All the tools are there, the procedures are there. You just have to do it, see how it's done and try it yourself. So as more and more seasons go by, more and more years go by, froyotech is more and more vulnerable, as it were.
Yeah, I definitely seen that in Highlander, where you come up with the strat and it's really good, and then everyone takes your strat. Now you're kind of back to square one, where everyone's on the same page. I have seen that, and I think froyotech has done that themselves. They've kind of innovated a lot of the meta and how to hold things, so to speak, and I think a lot of the aggression in the North American scene compared to Europe definitely kind of comes from froyotech, just being able to be so aggressive and also not being able to be punished for it nearly as hard as you would expect. It looks like we do have should be having it ready up soon. I think I might watch Habib on this opening mid. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we do have it ready up. So here we are in the inaugural midder of froyotech versus GCI. It looks like we do have Habib going to choke here, and actually both demos rolling out choke. Okay, actually no, Sinkarma's going Valley, excuse me. He took the long route, instantly gonna eat it sticky here. Oh, Sinkarma already dropping kind of low. So it's both teams actually just gonna rotate here. It's nothing. Ooh, Cap's dying instantly. Catface also dropping low. That's gonna signal just the retreat from GCI. Why is he electing to back up? Oh, they lost Sinkarma too, so we might see a froyotech dry push here. It's gonna be very hard to hold without a demo man. Soldier 8 up to May. May did this collapse from froyotech is just disastrous for GCI.
So much pressure from Froyo here, but dropping 0 players, crucially. The only players who are peeking have at least full health, or even sometimes a buff. Now, look at this, Mirror Man and Banny working their way into last already, peeking, seeing what's going on. Cap trying to get a cheeky little 7th player. Shout out to Marxist coining the term, but froyotech already working their way in with 100% ad.
Yeah, the gun, they can't get it back up. They do have a sniper now, froyotech might get peek, but they do have this full Uber at to work with. I think Habib dropped a little. That's what they're waiting on, but yeah, we should see a push very, very soon here. It looks like, yeah, they are going to take it top left and probably bomb Habib straight into the shutter, and there's people waiting for him. Actually, they're selecting to walk here. Yeah, they're just walking. GCS kind of caught in spawn, though, and Sundae's caught out outside of spawn. He actually, as mentioned, lives so far, and they do have the Pootis here. froyotech actually going to back up here and preserve their life. You know, that's one failed last push down, and a kind of heavy salvage that. I was kind of worried for GCI, but that heavy managed to just kind of clutch it for them at the end.
GCI rotated every player at the right time, and actually Froyo goes for just the refight. They know that GCI's coming up on this Uber, GCI 90%, but Banny and Habib getting 1-2 real quick, coming in from this far side of the point. Marmalou goes down as well. Froyo has a 3-player ad, but they're down 50%
Uber ad at least, so they have something to work with here, but the problem, May almost certainly has to get forced here. Froyo's gonna take that pick and just back up. They only lose 2 for it, you know. This is gonna be a tough push out for a GCI. You know, they have 2 picks to work with, but Froyo has 75% already. They have to get out fast if they're going to get it. Looks like they are. They're going to stream through lower left, not worrying about back caps at all, looks like. And they're just, yeah, they're already out taking the strike fight, but Skis is almost at his Uber.
What a round-saving decision to get out so fast. And look at forcing Skis here on second. If Skis use that Uber into last, then that's round over for GCI. But they have the initiative to move forward, force Uber out. But they are down 2 player space goes, so hopefully they'll be able to hold last.
Yeah, especially without a demo man, they're just going to be able to stream through these doors and only have to worry about soldier spam. And it looks like that's what they're going to try to do. Heads up play for the soldier to bomb in, but they're already, you know, down 1 soldier, down a scout, and it's just Caps and May versus the world. They're not going to get this Uber in time. And that's a clean 1-0 for froyotech. We Slimness question marks someone in chat.
Yeah, that's the kind of players that don't lose from Froyo, right? You saw GCI made like 5 really great decisions, and then as soon as they didn't make that 6, Froyo wins the round. Really impressive push from Froyo.
Yeah, froyotech have just managed to be so aggressive, but also so safe while doing it. It's horrifying to play against, because they just take every little opportunity they can. It looks like we do have Marmalou bombing early, and Habib actually dropping so low, and end up getting a bow to preserve his life, but froyotech's eating a lot of damage early on in this mid. GCI has a pretty sizable health advantage, and here comes the bombs. They do get Habib. That might spell... Oh, Banny eats a pipe from across the map, and it looks like that's going to be it for froyotech for this mid. Actually, Slimnish re-pushing back in, excuse me. Slimnish and froyotech's not giving this up.
Now, that double soldier commit towards the end was somewhat promising, but GCI knew we must protect May. That's our only objective here. We've already won the mid, so let's win it for real with our medic alive. And they do a great job keeping the rest of their players healthy. And it looks like we're going to... Ooh, we're definitely going to get a second here for GCI, but we're going to meet a little bit of an even Uber stalemate here on last.
Yeah, I didn't see what damaged Habib so much, but someone had a very large win, because Habib was basically unable to leave his own choke, just, you know, in red health the entire time. It looks like we are going to settle down into a second. We see the Banny sniper, kind of a, you know, a little rare, but 2 soldiers bombing, and people... Marmalou are already dead, and Habib's kind of in. The health is so low for everyone, but they do manage to get a... Oh, May drops!
Wow.
He managed to get a 3k there. That's incredibly disastrous, but the rest of the GCI is kind of just push. It's just Sin Karma left versus 3 of them, and he's going to try to get his pipe spam, but the end, Skis preserves his Uber and gets second, and now they're going to take this, looks like they're probably going to take this Uber out into mid real soon. I didn't really see what happened there, but Habib just kind of killed 3 people just walking in lobby.
Oh, what a monster. That was a really middling fight in such close quarters, right in all the corners and the ceilings, and you know, it was just so jumbled up in there, but Habib knows exactly where to put those explosions to do the damage, and wins that fight handily.
Yeah, froyotech's gonna kind of peek Valley here. They have Skis and Habib in Valley, so I might expect, yeah, they're trying to bomb, but Habib's he's getting launched around a little. Actually, they're kind of trying to play the soda. It looks like we do have Marmalou behind, and Marmalou's on the pink train, interesting to note, so gotta be worried about those back caps. So they do... Imagine May died? Must have been a trap.
Nice trap, yeah, from Habib.
They do have Marmalou to worry about behind, though, so they, you know, even though they have full Uber out here, gonna push out pushing out a second is a little tough here. They do manage to clean up Marmalou in the back, and they actually get the forcing on Skis, so even though everyone died, it's a little bit of a salvage in the end. They're only gonna probably lose mid for this, and they actually, even Uber's here to defend second, but their respawns are so long. I don't know if the froyotech's probably gonna get this ×8 on the point. Yeah, they're not gonna get this, these forward spawns.
I mean, it was such a strong salvage, at least from GCI, to be able to get the force on skis. I've seen a million games like this, Space Ghost, where Froyo just rolls this Uber ride all the way into a round win, but now GCI is able to at least kind of equalize and try and hold last with these even Ubers.
Yeah, definitely, you know, even though it looks bad, that was definitely kind of a salvage play, because it could have been so much worse if froyotech was just basically allowed to do what they want with their Uber. You know, you have to kind of throw a wrench into their works if you want even a hope of winning. And it looks like froyotech is going to take lobby here. Ubers are pretty even. I think froyotech's going to recognize that and just kind of sell in for sacks. I'm curious to see what they do for these sacks here, or if they think their ad's big enough that they can go off of it. They do have Uber right now, but I think they're just chilling.
Yeah, we can see skis kind of rotating back and forth right now, bringing heals from one side to the other side. Who's spamming where? Let's just see what they have, you know, see what classes, what off classes they're running right now. So, yeah, just kind of seeing what openings exist, and there's one right now.
Yeah, Cass managing to die there, so that you know, a scout down, they're going to push off foot, but they do have the gun in kind of the power position here in the center, but the engineer's not there. Oh, there he is. Okay, managed to save his gun just in the nick of time. These stickies on the left are kind of making me anxious. The soldier kind of blasted him around, but there's just like, Habib kind of littered stickies on the floor. It's a little distressing, but oh, Habib manages to die to spam there, so this might signal kind of a push out from GCI, or at least a very aggressive sack attempt, because without a demo, you know, without those stickies to lock down the doors, this could very quickly turn into just a straight out push out of last.
Yeah, Froyo knows what that player loss means. They immediately back out to hold second. They grab the high ground, you know, Mirrorman watching the valley here. But actually, Froyo, now that they got the respawner, they're starting to take the fight here in the upper lobby, right? GCI realizing, you know, maybe we don't need to take this fight now that Habib is back in the mix. But we do have a level 3 gun up from Catface, so that's going to help them hold for sure.
They tried to sack twice, and both the gun is just like watching the one door really well, so they couldn't even get through the door because the sentry just basically just said no. So it looks like froyotech's electing to go on the other side. Marmley gonna drop kind of low here, but froyotech does recognize that the flank side is a little weak here, but the spam is coming out pretty significantly. Sin Karma gonna drop so low and actually gonna get a mid-air boom, save his life, and froyotech's down too, but they do get caps. They actually do get Marmley too, so it's an even 4v4, and they're just in last.
We almost lost Habib too. Wow, really great heads-up play getting Sin from behind.
Just an engineer and a medic. They're so hurt they can't get this gun. This gun is so powerful. I've never seen a more powerful gun. And May's just on the point. He has to pop his Uber in the end, but froyotech's gonna, you know, preserve this Uber out here, and they're just gonna take this Uber in the last. They do manage to get the force here, but froyotech's Uber is so much later, and May is instantly dead.
Just saw May and Skis both staring at each other for an eternity. So much chaos going on around the point here. I mean, the health and space is favoring Froyo, but still GCR survives for now. But, you know, that second pick is going to sway it in favor of Froyotech. More point pressure, another pick. This is going to be a round capture for sure. And there's round number 2 down for Froyo.
Yeah, that was kind of such a scuffed fight there with the sentry and all the people dying. But Froyotech managed, you know, kind of just not out-DM them, but they managed to, you know, coordination their way into that victory. So froyotech up 2-0 in this match, but GCI definitely has been giving them a bit of a fight. It hasn't been a clean roll yet, so GCI, hopefully, you know, they can get another mid win here, get another round to keep this game, you know, you don't want to go down 3-0 at the half.
See if they can convert another mid. Again, Marmalou going for this aggressive damage onto Habib, but, you know, Habib takes the one arrow. Marmalou's out of the mid for a while now. Froyo making the way across the point. GCI kind of not set up yet, right? Froyo is down to player. GCI right now having Sin Bomb super high. Marmalou coming up next, but so much damage coming out of Froyotech. GCI can't find a way in.
And froyotech is down 2 though, so even though they're healthier, GCI has an extra body to work with. So froyotech's kind of caught on the wrong side of mid also, so this could be disastrous for Froyo if they're, you know, don't play this perfectly. Sin Karma could have dropped so low, but the immortal man just keeps on living, and the Bandy actually rarely getting caught out here. And a pinch in from Sin, gonna get the force in from Skis early.
Oh god. That's actually the whirlpool mid, right? Space Ghost, where you just run in circles back and forth, but, you know, getting Uber and having to run out. Somehow they let Skis escape, though.
Yeah, Skis did manage to escape, but May managed to not, you know, not manage to right click, so May gonna preserve this full Uber at it. They're probably gonna get the second because it's just 3 people versus the 4-5 players of GCI streaming in. So GCI gonna try to get in last without using her, but Slevenish is behind. I think they know too that Slevenish is behind. So I think he's gonna start a back half of mid. I'd be surprised if Froyo even tried to fight this, but you know, having to deal with Slevenish behind. Oh, and he gets vaporized by 2 soldiers, I believe, or a soldier and a scout.
Well, already GCI kind of playing with fire a little bit. Ski's coming up on 50% now, but GCI doesn't totally know what off
They
classes
pop
exist.
really
They're not
early.
in position, but they do use.
Sorry to interrupt, but Sin Karma did not get that Uber flash, so they're just kind of, unless Sin Karma actually dies in the Uber, so GCS just probably gonna have to abandon this push. It's, you know, like really disastrous. Blaze is gonna drop really low, but they do manage to get May. They trade 2 soldiers for a medic, and, you know, hopefully they can just take their Uber out here and preserve. Cappy's actually gonna win a 1v1 versus Habib, I think? Yeah, so it's just Sin Karma, but, you know, another failed last push, but it could have gone worse, I guess. froyotech does have full Uber ad, and they have, they do have to push into mid here, so we'll see.
And GCI really went like too slow and then too fast, right? Because Slum was stuck behind, GCI wasn't ready to go into last, and then they just said, screw it, we're going to lose our ad. So they just flew in, not knowing where they were going or what they were doing. Now, Froyo's doing the opposite, right? They're going fast now where they're kind of scouting out mid. They have people peeking Valley, peeking Cafe, peeking Main. And now that the Uber's coming up on 50%, they're ready to commit skis.
Yeah, they had a big enough Uber that they knew they could kind of, you know, just walk it, take this up. Banny actually going to drop really low here, almost getting a little caught out. They do manage to drop Banny, and Skis is going to pop his Uber, but, you know, GCI kind of pretty far out. Caps is going to end up dying for their sins, and 2 soldiers actually. froyotech wants more. They're in on May. They do actually manage to get May, but froyotech going to lose a lot of players for this, and Sin Karma, the last one alive, trying to... They do have mids, they're going to get forwards, but this is going to be... They're actually just chasing Sin. They're not even trying to camp mid. What a weird scenario. They're trying to spawn camp here, actually. But, again, froyotech just, I guess, forgot about mid, so GCS gonna get all of their forwards. They're just now starting to camp mid. What a weird scenario.
The greed, the hubris to chase the frags rather than play the objective. I mean, you got to score more points to win the game, Space Ghost.
That's true. Objective-based gameplay. It looks like froyotech is gonna get this win. I think they have like 40% ad, so pretty sizable. Having a little roamer standoff in Cafe. I'm probably gonna back up here, but yeah, froyotech does have a pretty sizable Uber ad here, but it's, you know, it's small enough that GCI could potentially kite and then retake this point if they play their cards right. froyotech gonna actually like to start pushing before they get Uber. Ski's gonna drop really low right off the bat, but Marmalu unable to clean up that frag, so GCI down one might signal retreat.
And that's the problem for GCI, right? They have to pretend like they're going to hold, hoping that Froyo uses, but they can't afford to, right? You know, their medic doesn't have the Uber yet, so Froyo unwavering, and they're even taking the Uber into last.
Yeah, they're in so deep, and they're going to get caps right off the bat, but May is at 95% here. froyotech doesn't get this point right away. This could be disastrous, and Danny actually going to drop very low here. Froyo really wants this Uber pop, and they do eventually get in the end, and Ski's going to actually make it out with his life, so this is disastrous for GCI. froyotech has the numbers. They can just keep refighting. Oh no, Marbleu gets air shot, and froyotech gets the round. Oh, absolute tragedy there. So a clean 3-0 for froyotech going into the half.
I swear, you could, if there's a middling fight, right, whether it's a dry fight or an Uber into last and stuff, you could watch it, close your eyes for like 4 seconds and think to yourself, when I open them, there will be more Froyo players than GCI players, and every time you would be right. They're managing their health so well in these fights, you know, players are initiating in the right order, you know, soldiers doing the damage, demo making space, scouts cleaning up. These pushes are like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, froyotech definitely establishes dominance, and quickly looking at the stats before anything happens, I can see that Habib is doing 321 damage per minute. That is a large number. He's 19-5. This is the Habib show right now, it looks like.
I saw a lot of huge plays. I mean, do you remember that one where he got like a 5K coming out of last in upper lobby, and even these little kind of drive-by plays, right? Like, you know, players flanking, players jumping, you know, Habib's hitting the pipes, hitting the air shot, hitting the 180 flick onto a scout chasing behind him. This guy's unstoppable.
Yeah, the Habib definitely, someone's gonna have to keep that man in check, because this man is just going on a rampage throughout the entire enemy team. And also, one thing to know is Ski's having the clean 0-death game and 11 assists too, so the combo from froyotech really establishing their dominance here. The flank of froyotech not as much, but you know, they're doing enough. They're doing what they need to win to help their combo. So definitely, GCI's gonna have to do something about Habib in this match, because right now he's just absolutely single-handedly dominating them. And on that note, it's the second half has started, so it looks like GCI, I guess, knew what they wanted to talk about, not taking a super long half.
Some things are better left unsaid.
That's true. It looks like both tempos are gonna actually, Habib gonna drop kind of low again, so both teams just kind of poking and prodding right now. Blaze gonna bomb his own valley. It looks like they're actually taking it kind of a derpy soldier 1v1. Blaze gonna actually manage to live, so GCI down a soldier, not clean, but Blaze is so hurt, he's kind of out of the fight. Gonna manage to get it back, get back in, but yeah, no one's really done anything super exorbitant, and there's more move. Big Bomb in it, they're gonna actually get skis off of that, but they get May in the post, and it's just, GCI just does not have the numbers. They got skis, but at what cost?
There was a moment like, oh wow, nice chase from Banny, even grabbing Sin Karma at the very tail end of this fight. But there's one of those like moments taken, pictures taken before disasters, right? I mean, you saw there was like a screenshot basically in mid. Actually, Cap is working his way all the way back, taking the 1v1 on Slumnish, manages to win it, causing some havoc back behind. But yeah, GCI had like a player down with Mirror Man behind them, so you just know it's over after that kind of a mid.
Yeah, so May does have a not really pushable Uber. They have like 13%, so it's basically even. So GCI is going to be probably pretty happy. You know, they don't want to get rolled this half, because if you get a 4-0, that's disastrous. But you know, you already went down 3-0 in the half, so I think they might want to slow the game down here. Just try to, you know, slowly work their way back into this game, because you know, if you make one mistake and you get down around, then you know, then your back's really up against the wall. You can't lose anymore. So I think that's what they're planning on doing. Their Uber actually got bigger. They had a 10%, I kind of went to 20%, but I don't think they know that their Uber's that big.
Yeah, in general, you can't assume that your opponent is building poorly, right? Because otherwise you're gonna pay the price in the end.
Especially, you know, you know, froyotech, they didn't build well. You know, you gotta assume froyotech's building every time. Froyo's they kind of have like 6 players just kind of standing around and choke. I think they're ready to sack, but they're just getting buffed up. So we should see a sack, and like, nope, there it is. I knew it was coming at some point. They're actually gonna bomb onto the roamer here. They do manage, Habib died to spam or pipes. I didn't see what happened, but that's gonna signal Uber exchange from GCI here, because they can just walk through our choke point for essentially free other than soldiers.
A huge initiative from GCI here, but how do they convert that into a round win, right?
Blaze
They're working their way through
behind.
Valley.
That's
gonna be rough.
Doing behind, but Slumnish actually gonna eat kind of a rocket drop blow, and GCI, the pressure here from GCI, they haven't forced anything here, but GCI is just in so deep, and Blaze is behind now, going for the pinch, gonna shoot Sin. Sin is gonna die, and looks like that's what froyotech was waiting for. So now GCI down the demo, but they do have the positioning to work with here.
Oh my god, the skis just does not use. May finally uses Uber first. This fight's been going on for like 35 seconds now.
Oh, he's so hurt, and he dies. They dropped, maybe it's intentional that they dropped a beep, because froyotech's still in here. They want to use this double scout Uber and just run a train on GCI, but I guess froyotech's gonna, they're gonna re-push through Cafe. That was their play. Okay. They're gonna re-push through Cafe with this full Uber head.
I'm still not having to use it, just picking up players left and right wherever they find them, and now suddenly we have point pressure, and look, GCI is even giving them the point now with this cat face play back and behind, drawing players back. That's what's saving GCI here.
Oh, heads up play from Catface. I was too busy watching Marmalou do circles in the air to avoid getting airshot. Catface actually on the opponent's last, so definitely bringing froyotech back, and he might have brought him back so well that froyotech might get his Uber here to fight this point. They might be able to get a refan. Catface is still behind, taking a 1v1 versus Blaze. Oh no, he eats a rocket. Not ending well for Catface, but it looks like froyotech's gonna get this round, but Catface managed to buy enough time to get his Uber, so a big play out of Catface, even though, you know, it didn't show up necessarily on the scoreboard, it had a large impact.
Can we get some kind of admin involved? I think Skis' mouse is broken. He can't right-click.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's still the same Uber.
Skis is just the not pop challenge. I've seen him do this in Highlander. Sometimes he just says, I'm not popping, and that's apparently froyotech has to work with here, because Blaze actually in behind again, gonna take another 1v1 to Catface. Actually, froyotech has 2 players behind, so Blaze establishing his dominance over Catface, kind of caught out behind. froyotech's gonna go for the pinch here, because, you know, they have 2 players behind, and it's, you know, the flank players, and oh, May's gonna drop solo, he's gonna have to use here, so easy force from Blaze, and froyotech's gonna just, oh wait, Skis dropped too!
Yep, there was a little bit of a trap near Cafe, so finally Sin Karma decides enough is enough with that Uber.
That was the longest, like, 100% Uber I have seen in a hot minute. Skis are just sitting on that through thick and thin. It looks like GCI's gonna, you know, use that and just walk in with their heels, and Sin actually having a deep bomb into Valley, gonna trade his life for 2. I guess that's worth, I don't know. You can argue 2 for a demo. You'll take that, I guess, you know. Got Banny. I'm sure Banny's not very happy about that one. And GCS gonna get the point here. They do have like a 20-30% ad to work with. I'm curious to see if they actually take advantage of it, but froyotech down 2 means GCI might just dry in.
That's what we do want to see, especially before these Ubers come up. But what a great initiative from Blaze, flying into Mei here. No one's ready for Blaze to come in. Look, GCI have to turn tail and fly back, try and protect Mei, but there's no saving Mei from Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze is kind of having some large impact this game. He's definitely, you know, large flank plays, manages to get Mei. So now Skis is one the fully bred to work with. Hopefully he will be able to get this one and actually pop it as opposed to his last troll Uber, but we'll see. Catface is behind again, and he manages to pick off Slumdish, so, you know, having Catface behind might drag some froyotech players back here, open up some things for GCI, just even if it's just time to build Uber, because froyotech has like 3 players. Skis, they're actually all on last with heals chasing Catface. He has a whole squad after him. Somebody stop this man. He gets Mirror Man too! Alright. That was kind of a clown fiesta.
Yeah, I just watched like a marathon, right? It's like the dog sled racing where you just hold on to the scout with the medic speed boost and fly, yelling mush all along the way. And now we have this add into mid, but no one's even ready to take this fight yet.
Yeah, froyotech gonna try to get in through Took. Now Marmlu's the one who's behind him. Marmlu is on the paint train, so he's basically like a mini scout, but he's getting chased by 2 scouts. They had enough. Blaze gonna die to some sticky spam, and Skis is still holding onto this Uber. He refuses to pop. It's against his religion. He's just not popping this Uber. Dropping really low too. He's sneaking the Skis, please. Skis is trolling. Skis is somebody stop this man.
I'm not one to question others' lifestyle choices, and if Skis chooses abstinence, then so be it. More power to him.
It's all part of the plan. I'm sure he has some plan, but yeah, looks like GCS gonna come in here and they're gonna try to. They do manage to get the Uber out of Skis. Skis gonna end up flying in here too, and Mei's gonna hold this Uber. So,
I even saw Mei fling an arrow at Skis to try and drop Skis, and Skis just barely dodged through.
Yeah, this fight is kind of scrappy, but even though GCI's down a player, they do have this full Uber to work with. So I'm curious to see what they do with this invincibility. You know, the spam from froyotech is insane, and they're still going in. They don't fear this Uber; they're just going in, and Mei's gonna have to. He hasn't popped yet, actually. Okay. Wow, both these medics are so willing to not pop Uber. I'm honestly kind of impressed. I think it's a bigger, I think it's a lot more, makes you a lot more anxious when you don't pop that Uber and you're just holding on to it, hoping something disastrous doesn't happen. So shout out to Mei and Skis, honestly, preserving these Ubers and, the long-term play instead of the short-term play.
Yep. As a medic player myself, I'd rather use a pretty good Uber now than save an Uber for later that might get dropped or something, right?
Yeah, speaking of which, here comes the GCI Uber. Sin Karma kind of getting caught a little in the door, but he does manage to get in. They're actually in so deep, they get Skis and Blaze right off the bat, so the picks are going GCI's way, and this might be a round for GCI. Unless something disastrous happens, it's just Mirror Man versus the world, and it's gonna end up... So, round 1 for GCI. Looks like, GCI getting back into it. I'm glad they didn't lose that round, because if they had lost that round, it would have been much more of an uphill battle. 3-1, you can work with the 3-1.
Especially coming in hot into this next half, right? GCI's feeling a lot better. And you mentioned earlier that GCI has a little bit of the chaos. So they're, getting players behind, giving Froyo a run for their money. I mean, body checking Skis if Skis doesn't want to use the right side of his mouse, so.
Marmlu's in so deep. Blaze, Habib gonna drop really low, but Marmlu gonna get clean up the frags, but Habib and Skis dropping so low. Skis gonna hit the bow onto Habib. Oh, they can't get Habib. He was so hurt. He's 12 health in the enemy cafe. Oh, they dropped so low. They do manage to get Skis, so I guess it's worth it at the end, but Habib was, the invincible man that bit. He just could not die.
There was a funny scene with Sin Karma and Mei from GCI in the Roan Choke demo and medic, where one soldier was chasing them, Mirror Man was on them, and then Blaze is on them. But they're like, we're medic and demo, we can't stop soldiers. So they just straight up ignored them, and I'll let you guess how that went for them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to do though.
Yeah, ignoring soldiers, generally does not end well, but sometimes you have to do it, just dictated by the game flow. But yeah, it looks like wow, GCI actually losing both their scouts early. So not only do they have no really good building targets now, but it looks like Froyo's probably gonna go, oh, 2 scouts, I'll just walk in. So yeah, froyotech gonna stream in, gonna kind of catch out Marmlu here. Marmlu gonna drop so low, gonna preserve his life in the end, but froyotech is just walking into last, and actually big bomb out of Marmlu, and both soldiers dying now. But they are gonna get Skis, but the frags, I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, they get Skis, but at what cost? I mean, yeah, this is going to be round 1 anyway. You know what? After they lose a round like that, after Froyo lost this first round here, that's when you get one of those pep talks from Banny, but it's like eight words, right? It's like a sentence and a half where it's like, all right, you need to do this, we need to be doing that, and then they just win the round based on what he sees. That's a veteran experience right there.
Yeah, that is definitely one of Danny's advantages, is that he can see the problem in the future and while it's happening and just diagnose it immediately and say, hey, do this and it'll get fixed. And I'm honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Danny did, but yeah, it looks like we're having another mid here, potentially the last mid for GCI if they don't get this round. And both teams actually gonna go and just kind of walk into his faces here. We have kind of a faceplant mid. Actually, GCI gonna back up here. Their health is not clean, and they lost Sin early, so that's gonna probably signal. Actually, no, they're walking back in. They want to take this fight.
Yeah, that's tough, but I respect it, right? I mean, it's so losing when you lose your demo as the first player on mid, but you know, you can't blame a guy for trying. They're even working their way in Cafe in a 3v4, and now we see what happens if you try and take a 3v4, I guess.
Yeah, froyotech okay, they're gonna send Slumdish back to cap mid, but yeah, froyotech could be sitting pretty happy here with their full Uber ad capping mid. They're actually gonna be really aggressive in lobby here, just gonna see if they can catch out someone, and catch out someone they do. They managed to get Marmalade. froyotech's just gonna walk into last. They're getting this poor gun down. Catfish just cannot get this gun built up. He's been trying, and Habib has just been shooting it down. Somebody stop that man.
Like Froyo waiting for their spawners, you know, again, Habib kind of spotting it out, grabbing the gun again and again. Now they're rotating the other way. Once they got eyes looking one way, they push the other. Uber coming in from the far side. Again, Sin Karma being the first death here. Froyo is sitting
big
pretty
rocket,
going into
big
last.
Rockets. Excuse me, big rockets coming from Marmalade there. I think he actually managed to single-handedly save that push, at least for now, because Marmalade hit like 3 directs from like mid-range. And froyotech dropped solo, they just kind of had to back up, so shout out to Marmalade there. Big impact.
And that's a late stage heavy. Actually, Froyo kind of taking these fights still. GCI trying to make their way back into the round, but yeah, they just barely.
May hide in the corner though. Slumdish almost got baited in because of that, but wisely decided to not die there. But yeah, May's gonna have a small Uber to work with, not super sizable, but they might push out of it. They might just be like, you know, we're down 4-1 versus froyotech. We're just gonna have to take advantage of our very tiny Uber. Oh, they're gonna like to back up the last. I can understand that situation. Pushing out there is definitely extremely risky.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you're right, it's one of those where, you know, we have to win 4 rounds to win this game. So, like, whatever openings we have to take it for GCI. So, I wish they would have taken it in, but I can respect why they wouldn't, I guess.
Yeah, froyotech probably just gonna like to go for sacks here. They're probably actually gonna try to spam this gun first. Having a level, it's not even level 3. The level 2 is honestly even worse than the level 3. But yeah, they do manage to, they trade Habib for Marmalade. You kind of take those, and they lose Blaze too. And Slumdish actually kind of caught in. Slumdish is stuck in by spawn. He's gonna try to live here, but actually Vandy manages to make space for him and gets Sin at the end. So it was looking so good for GCI. Ends up Sin Karma dying. That's probably gonna spell you know, kind of a disaster, and they're going to lose Sin as well, so now froyotech actually has numbers advantage to work off of. GCI is like the worst respawns I have ever seen.
Even Banny and Slim like, wait, no one's here, we could just walk in.
Banny is so hurt. He does manage to get cleaned up at the end. They're actually kind of holding W into Slumdish, and they're going to back up, but Blaze just tapping the point, clearing stickies, and yeah, I guess after all that, they just kind of equalize. They're the same situation as before.
We're trading these picks, but every time it's not quite enough to get in. It's almost enough, but never quite enough.
Oh wait, they have Mirrorman on Spy. I didn't see he was invisible, but Mirrorman on last on the Spy class. So we're gonna probably see a sack / distraction for froyotech as Mirrorman goes in for the stab. I don't think they know he's on Spy. It was kind of so chaotic. I don't know if they expected it. He managed to lose Cap 2. Here comes Mirrorman. Does manage to drop May, so and he managed to live. So this is gonna spell the froyotech push here, and it's not looking good if you're GCI, but they do have the Catface Buddhist at least.
And the late stage heavy, maybe the only saving grace, tanking the Spy here. Mirrorman just revolvering down all who stand in his way. And off the play of that amazing drop from Mirrorman, that's going to be the game to froyotech.
Yeah, so big shout out to froyotech there, managing to get a pretty convincing 5-1 win over GCI, and on to the second match, GCI versus Ford Gaming. So, I think Froyo should be happy that they got that match over relatively quickly, because if they didn't end that one really fast, then we might have been here a while.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like for me, I saw what I wanted to see out of GCI, right? They had a lot of smart plays, great, initiative from individual players. They had solid mids, but like at each point it wasn't quite enough, right? They almost were able to cap last, but it wasn't quite enough. They were almost able to hold last, not enough. Almost able to win most mids, but not quite. So that's you know, there's only maybe an inch between them and froyotech, but when you turn that into numbers on the server, it becomes a mile.
Yeah, looking at the stats here, I see that Sluggish kind of took Habib's spot there as the very clear in a way front runner. I think he actually has the same KD as Habib the first half. Habib taking a lot of damage, so I think GCI heard us and decided to go try to get Habib. But problem with Froyotech is you can keep one of their players down, but you can't keep all of them down. You have Banny, Slamish, Habib, Blaze. You have so many, and Mirrorman. You have so many of these dominant players that you can catch one or two of them on an off day, but you can't catch all of them on an off day.
They took a lot of fights towards Skis here too. Do you remember in that first half, Skis had the perfect half on May's 6 deaths? Here, May repeated history with another 6, but here Skis almost matched that with 5 deaths himself. So at least some right ideas of GCI to kind of equalize this match and give themselves some fighting chances.
Yeah, and I will say, Blaze, it does look like he's, kind of lowest on the DPM board, but I'll say Blaze is one of those players that his stats don't tell the full story, because Blaze has the most impactful 220 DPM game you will ever see in your entire life. Blaze just, every time he manages just to make insane clutch plays that really save his team, so that's one thing I also want to point out, because I always kind of feel bad for the roamers when they make really good plays, but it just doesn't show up on the stats, because that's what everyone sees at the end is the stats, but you don't, Blaze honestly makes so many good plays, you don't really remember at the end all the good ones he make, but that is how it be. We do have a second match here, so at some point, I don't know when, but we are going to take... Okay. So we will be taking that break. Hi, and welcome back to another match right after our first one. Again, part 2 of our double header. So this is I believe this is our season 6, week 7 match. GC, this is going to be froyotech versus Ford Gaming. So hope you enjoyed your 60-second break or 90-second break, Rogue. So how are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see some of my MCM teammates, of course, in Logan and Sandblast here on Ford, and Soapy Meister, unfortunately, relieved of his duty here in the season due to some stuff outside of the game. So, of course, I'm here repping Ford, cheering for the boys. But after such a nice play from nice showing from
already starting.
This is going to be quite the game.
Real quick, before the roster goes over, froyotech remains the same, but for Ford Gaming, we do have Howard and Sandblast on scout. We have oh, they restart. Oh, they trolled me. Their mid was starting and then they untrolled. Okay, I got trolled. Regardless. Okay, starting over, we have Howard and Sandblast on scout. We have Alpha and Phelps. Phelps ringing on Soldier. We have Logan on Demoman, and we have Styles ringing on Medic. Seeds is MIA, possibly sleeping because he's on Euro time.
And everyone who was with us before saw Banny Scout, Slemnish Scout, Mirror and Blaze on Soldier, Habib Demo, Skis Medic, and we're bringing ourselves into the first mid here on Metalworks.
Yeah, Metalworks kind of the polar opposite of the previous map, Sunshine. So we should see, you know, a lot more soldier-dominated gameplay. And let's start right off the bat. We're going to see a big high bump for Alpha, gonna land on actually kind of his own side. And yeah, both soldiers kind of bombed early. Actually, both Froyo soldiers managing to go down early. So that's going to spell the retreat from froyotech. So the big mid from Ford Gaming manages to get that first early win and getting both Froyo soldiers. So it's all up to Habib to stop this incoming push.
All right, Habib instantly on that mid went down to 30 HP. And if you're Ford, you're like, wait, Habib isn't at mid for the next 3 seconds? All right, we can win this, and they win.
Yeah, look at this aggression from the Ford. They're just going in. Habib actually gonna drop low. Bandy kind of actually manages to get out, but dropping Habib there is not what you'd like to see if you're froyotech, because, you know, now they have another push to work off. The demo class is so good at stopping pushes, and Ford's Gaming's definitely gonna try to take advantage of that and just, you know, get it as far into last as they possibly can.
So much pressure, so much damage. The soldiers on Ford going nuts, but the frags are coming down. I mean, Habib just
Bandy
so
gonna
no
drop
traps.
low. Look at this point pressure. They can't.
What? No Ubers, Space Ghost.
That's crazy. One thing to note is that the point cap radius for last on Metalworks is really small. If you jump, you stop capping. So I saw froyotech literally like pixels away from the point. They were over it because it's Metalworks and the point cap is so low. Ford just managed to stand on and get it before Froyo could get there. So big and fast first mid from Ford. I don't think that's what anyone was expecting for the opening mid.
Certainly not me. Let's see it again. Howard making some space across point, already just holding WM1 into Habib. Habib can't catch a break. He's
Habib gets a bow.
Wow.
Clutch bow from Habib. It looks like now it's Ford Gaming's turn to back up, but Howard's gonna get picked off here, and Logan's gonna end up in a unfortunate 1v1 in Valley. He doesn't want to take it. He's gonna drop low, but it looks like Styles and Sandblast are out, so they're gonna preserve their Uber into last. Froyo actually gonna chase all the way. They haven't even started to cap mid yet, so you know, they did get the frags, but the objective, Ford might try to repush second if they want, or at least pressure with the incoming Sandblast sniper, because they have a fair amount of time to work with here. Sandblast didn't see Banny, and he's gonna fall for it. Tragedy. You know, he's looking, that's the problem with sniper. You look one way and they come from the other way. It does happen sometimes.
You just lock yourself on 10 FOV and suddenly the whole world happens behind you, right?
Yeah, that is what happens. I think actually they put the wrong config on because they had the 15-minute thing, but I'm sure Banny will fix that. Speaking of which, Alpha is gonna drop actually, so froyotech just kind of pushing in and pressuring. This level 2 gun though, making some, you know, the nice thing about the gun is that it doesn't miss, so it manages to catch Mirror Man on the way out. So both teams just gonna end up trading a soldier here. It's gonna end up just kind of stalemating out, but a lot of pressure, and that's a drop from Styles. That bomb from Blaze was massive.
Blaze straight to Goomba Stomp Styles. I saw Blaze like stand on Styles' head and hit that second rocket. I mean, there's nothing else you can do as Styles. Even if you force, you're not saving anything. So that's a credit to Blaze. Nice bomb.
Yeah, how are we gonna try to get at the sentry gun really fast? Because I think the froyotech gonna. Why is the opt to wait for Blaze to come back? I always need Blaze, but yeah, Ford Gaming's just gonna have a level 1 sentry and a dream here holding this last with this full Uber disad, and if I'd be very nervous if I was Ford, because the score might be even sooner, unless froyotech manages to beef in some way. froyotech is kind of taking their time a little. I don't know what they're waiting on, but they're kind of taking their time. Looks like they're gonna elect to go top right into the soldier, so Phelps gonna gets that early force and manages to get out. Oh, did I speak too soon? No, I didn't. Yeah, they're just in it. Ford does have stickies on the point and Sandblast on heavy, so it looks like the Sandblast heavy just holding W, mulching everyone, but they're actually are getting the frags, excuse me, so it looks like Froy's gonna have to back up here.
Oh, very nice from Ford. Such a stalwart hold. Let me give you a quick lesson, everyone in chat, okay? On the late stage heavy. People run a heavy off class on last, and it's good. But the thing is, they know to focus it. Everyone has full ammo, right? But if you go heavy at the very end, yeah, they're down the 150 health buff, but the demo use all their stickies, all their pipes. The soldiers have to reload. The scouts have to start reloading, right? All the action has kind of already happened. All the focus already happened. So the late stage heavy from Sandblast is what made the difference on that hold.
I couldn't agree more. That was massive plays from Sandblast there. And Sandblast actually got to spot out the trap a little early, but Ubers have kind of evened out here. I think Ford has realized it, but froyotech knows that Ubers have evened out, so they're going. And I see 3 people from froyotech in-house. So big flank plays from froyotech, and it looks like players are just collapsing onto... I think that's another drop from Styles, so froyotech just managed to push house and just kind of, you know, get in through every door, and that was just it. Forward got kind of bulged. Skis did get forced? Did he fat finger? I didn't see what happened. Skis, for whatever reason, Skis popped Uber, but froyotech's in last.
So much
Uber's
forward pressure.
Even, but this actually might even out. I thought that was going to be a lost last fight for forward, but the spawns and Skis having to pop that Uber at the very end just barely managed to save that. So we're kind of back at square one where we were 4 minutes ago.
I'm so confused by that push from forward, right? They tried going from second into mid, but stopped halfway there. And where they stopped, it was on the low ground. I mean, you know, you're not going to do yourself any favors from there, huh?
They pushed like they had ad, but they did not have that. So it definitely did not end up well for them. But it looks like, actually, Alpha's on Spy. This is a very unusual play from Alpha. I don't know if they're going to realize this. And Alpha's going in, but, oh, they spotted it. Bandy spotted it. He has the Turtle Beaches. And that's going to prompt the force out of froyotech just off of the one pick, but Styles is gonna get his Uber and get the pop and oh, Logan dropped so low. They managed to save Logan, but it looks like froyotech gonna back up here. So even though Alpha didn't make that play, he was able to call enough that they knew where he was coming from. Samlas actually almost getting caught in a little, but forward gaming gonna, you know, that Blaze Mirrorman, excuse me, gonna drop so low and actually get cleaned up by a massive pipe from Logan. So down on Roamer means Forward Gaming might opt to just try to steamroll this, even though it's only one pick. They're gonna try to do something off of it. And looks like, yeah, they're same plays before, but no Ubers this time.
Ooh, Blaze going for the drop down play onto Styles. They're chasing him all the way here into Alley. It takes so long to kill Blaze, and that gives Froyo enough time to get set back up here from mid. So Styles does survive, but Froyo is able to hold the midpoint. Oh,
Slemnish is behind them. Manages to clean him Alpha, and they know, but instantly just walks into the beat shot of Howard. But froyotech gonna, even though numbers are even, they're gonna try to get in actually this massive 1v1. They do manage to get Skis and Habib. I don't know. I don't think that was a drop, but you know, Habib and Skis walked in and they just weren't expecting whatever was coming. Oh, Manny finishes, they get Styles at the very end, just dodging and juking in the middle of the enemy team.
Yeah, everyone on Froyo just trying to delay as long as they can, even Slemnish peeking and poking. Right, but Ford able to get this point. Ubers are going to be actually a reasonable ad for Skis. Building pretty well here as Skis is on the rollout. So it's going to be a bit of a, yeah, 20% ad. You take those.
Yeah, you do take those. And it looks like they're just going to take the heal advantage. They know Styles is, you know, on the way of walking out from spawn, and so they don't have heals to really fight froyotech. So froyotech, you know, very, very smart gameplay. Forward Gaming wants to fight though, and they're in. Look at this big palm out from Alpha. He does manage to take a lot of damage. Actually, he does manage to fall, but he did make some space, which I guess was a goal. Styles launched in, and he's gonna fall. So that's a disaster for Forward Gaming. They're gonna have to back up here, and they have no heals to work with. You think even Froyo's confused about that? I don't know. What launch Styles in?
Yeah, I couldn't say, but man, that high bomb from Alpha was so winning for Forward. But you know, it was like, maybe if Alpha did like another 30 extra damage or just one more player was on the high ground ready to follow up, then it would have been a point capture. But Froyo just kind of put the damage in the right places, kept their players healthy enough to hold.
Yeah, it looks like yeah, so they don't manage to get a force out for forward. So Skis is gonna have full Uber to work with here, pushing into last. But forward has so far managed to avoid any disasters. The forward last holds have been strong and on point. So I'm curious if Froyo manages to change their approach to these last fights, or if they're just gonna say, all right, we know what we did wrong, we're just gonna do X.
I've seen to go for main this time.
He's tried to bomb 3 times and got denied every time. Not what you like to see right off the bat, but they do manage to get Alpha, and they get both soldiers, so not many point blocking classes, and Habib's having a field day on this last.
That's just so much damage. I mean, alright, not bad Styles, but so much damage. Man, and for our observant fans here in the chat, you know, when the team's readied up and unreadied, readied again, that sort of broke the config with the clock, so our apologies. But of course, there's 20 minutes left in the half, and the round timer on top isn't going to matter unless we stalemate out. So we'll keep you informed. Rest assured.
GCI, or not GCI, Ford did manage to lose that last, but they did kill Habib at the end, so I guess hashtag worth, you know. It was lost. What can you do? But yeah, coming to another mid here. It looks like Froyo actually going to take an aggressive fight, and Habib's going to drop low instantly. Habib just eating so much damage early on in the mid, but Froyo actually manages to get the picks to clean up for it. Froyo still wants to fight though. both these teams really just want to take all these battles, and actually, Skis is all caught out in lobby. It's just Mirrorman and Skis versus the world, but Sandblast wants blood. He's in. I don't know if they can get this pinch off. I don't think they're not in position, and Skis is actually going to preserve his life. He looked like he was dead to rights, but managed to kind of, you know, just finagle his way out of blast, and Ford hasn't even started capping mid yet.
I think they forgot themselves. I mean, they do have these spawners, but, you know, you're thinking, yeah, our spawners look at it, but this is so long, right? I mean, Froyo even has their Uber. Look, they're coming back.
Yeah, it's Froyo realizing, oh, Ubers are even. We can just fight mid. No one's capped the put yet. Logan actually getting caught out in lobby, gonna drop solo, and Bandy's gonna clean him up. So that's a demo down. They're gonna get mid off of it, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it in the end, because Froyo's just gonna kind of steamroll through mid here. They don't have a demo to block him.
Alright, faking a high bomb with Blaze. Blaze going back in for the recommit, now playing a little bit slower, just kind of trying to zone out Ford. Recommitting with Alpha going in for a bit of a higher bomb.
The Uber,
and the Uber is
their Uber's kind of getting sidetracked. It's a Sandblast solo on the Skis, and Sandblast hasn't done any damage, and they're just going to back up, so Skis manages to milk and preserve his Uber. So this is not looking good for Ford Gaming.
Oh man, I'm going to set another stopwatch on this Skis Uber. Let's see how long we can go.
True. I can understand that one, because Sandblast kind of walked in their hitbox and just, like, missed their shots. It happens, you know? Especially against, you know, Bandy's impossible to hit. I've been in there. He just, like, whenever you think he's going to go, one thing goes a different way. But here comes the froyotech Uber, and Habib does not get blocked this time, and they're going to get Alpha off of it, but that's kind of it right now. So Styles has for Uber to work with here, but Froyo's going to want to keep pushing into last year. If I know Froyo, I know they're going to take every little advantage they can get. Sandblast's going to drop. Howard's also managed to get Bode here, but Ford Gaming down a lot here. So I think Froyo's going to try to get in off of that, or at least poke a little. Actually, Froyo electing to back up here. Okay, so they decided that they can hold second with, you know, 40-50% Uber decide, and they're going to try their best.
I feel like Froyo could go for like maybe one more player into Styles here, at least just go for some kind of action on the map, but, you know, opting to hold this here with the disad, you know, Skis especially now coming up on 75, Ford taking their sweet ass time here, it's going to even out, so you're not really going to complain for either team.
Yeah, I guess Ford didn't feel comfortable pushing out, you know, down a player or two, and likewise, Froyo did not feel like they wanted to push the issue anymore, so I can understand both sides here. You know, if Ford end up losing this match, they might regret, oh, what if we pushed that in that 40% ad, but
yeah,
we'll have to see when we come back to that. So, you know, they're just going to be building up. We have Sandblast on Engineer this time, Howard on Sniper, electing to trade roles here. Howard has had enough of Engineer and wants to play Sniper. Usually you see Sandblast on Sniper, but I don't know, sometimes you just do it whoever's feeling up to it. Engineer's kind of fun. Phelps actually managed to die to a trap somewhere, so that's going to signal probably a push, not a push, but a big sack in from Froyo. God, all team names are the same.
Ooh, really cool trap from Habib on this little metal shutter, but now the pressure is coming so deep. I mean, Blaze going mega deep here, Habib grabbing a pick, but
could have died to the sniper. Big
lights out shot.
Yeah, so now 2 down and down a demo means there's only one spamming class, and that's Mirrorman. So if they can get through a door here, it's going to go very well for Ford Gaming here. But Sandblast, how is he solo an Engineer? I didn't see what happened, but regardless.
Skis wants to use here. Look at this commitment.
They do.
Ford is scared.
I didn't see what happened, but Ford, you know, they thought about it, and they were just like, no, let's just keep holding last. So they backed up. You know, I guess they're happy holding last. We'll have to see. I don't...
A 6v4. Ah, we can do better than that. Let's wait.
Yeah, you never know. It's, you know, sometimes in the match, you just get the, you know, you get nerves, you feel anxious. I see 2 Froscats hiding in a corner. I was worried for them, but, you know, Ford Gaming's last holds had been pretty clean, so we'll have to see. Maybe they just really like holding last. They know, oh, they can just wipe them on last and then just get the mid. That might be what their plan is. We'll have to see. Looks like here comes a bomb in from Blaze, gonna instantly kill Alpha. Alpha kind of left out the dry there, and it looks like they really want this gun. They get the gun, Sandblast low, actually gonna get chased down by Slemnish. Slemnish on the point, actually, they're gonna get Howard too. The sack is just turning into a push because it's gone so well. They're gonna get the force.
Yeah, they you give them an inch and they take a mile, right? For just converting these advantages into picks and then converting picks into rounds. This is a masterclass here on some of these little dry fights and keeping up pressure while your players are going for sacks.
You ever just have a sack that just, it goes so well, you're just like, well, let's just push. You know, it's not even like your guy gets the sack. Like, they just sacked and they're just like, wait, we could just walk in. And they just walked in and won. You know, Froyo gonna go up 2-1 in this half, so We'll have to see here. I think, if I remember correctly, 4Gaming actually has come out on top, at least initially on most of these mids, so Froyo might have to start changing up their mids a little. I know Habib's been taking a lot of early damage. We'll have to see what happens here. Habib actually getting very aggressive early on.
Yeah, that's a difference maker. Now Habib on a full buff. I mean, Ford is going to be
Ford's health
quite
is so
remiss
bad.
trying to come up with anything. Mirror Man stuck in all the way behind. This is beyond over if you're Ford Gaming.
Actually, they did. Ooh, actually, Caster's cursed. I don't know what happened. I know Skis dropped low, and that might have been the end of it. Mirror Man actually gonna die to Styles, and Ford took so much damage early on, and I don't know what happened, but they just they were in a perfect position and got the collapse because they just got the mid in the end. So these Ford Gaming mids have been super strong, very I'd say pretty uncharacteristic for froyotech to be losing mids consistently like this.
Yeah, especially them having so much high
Skis
ground.
dropped the spam. He was just spamming
Straight
pipes,
piped.
and just this Skis managed to walk through. Unlucky, you get the +2 in chat, and it looks like Ford Game is gonna have a full Uber at to work with, pushing into last once they get the second cap. Manny tried to salvage, but in the end not managing to get anything, so this is just looking worse and worse. Slemish on Sniper gonna hope for some sort of miracle play here. Actually gonna peek top left. Okay, they killed Alpha somehow, but they get Slemish, and look at this, it's just a Sandblast solo. They're just in.
And they decided we're going to win.
Oh
we're
no,
going
they
to win
did.
now.
They dropped Sandblast though. Drop Sandblast. There's a medic battle. Okay, Styles has established his dominance over Skis. He killed Skis with the head. That's a clean 2-2 for Gaming. So kind of perhaps a little bit of an upset here. It's even match, even Steven going into the final mid for this half.
Ford is doing so well to play their own game, right? For anyone watching the GCI match against Froyo, they just kind of put some chaos and said, let the best team win. But here Ford says, screw it. We think we're winning this mid. Let's do it. We're just going to go get second now, even if it's not the best. And just by deciding to win, you can kind of create your own reality.
Yeah, Ford gonna actually take the high ground early on in this mid, but a big buff from Mirrorman gonna end up in the skybox. He actually manages to land on the Packer. He got bowed something because he managed to live, but Ford gonna get healed up here, and Habib just is holding W. Ford dropping low, and that's gonna signal them to back up. They just saw something. They just knew, oh, we're losing this mid. We're down Sandblast. Let's just leave. And they left. So Sandblast saying some not nice things in chat, but that's all right. It's all in the good spirit of sportsmanship. And Ford Skis died. Oh,
I missed that as well. Nice play from Alpha. So sneaky. I didn't even catch it. There he is, the hiding.
I had to watch it back on the cast, but I saw just hiding in a corner, manages to catch Skis out. That's actually okay. If anything's uncharacteristic of froyotech, Bandy always checks every single quarter, every time he plays TF2. So the fact that he got away with that is honestly that's a rarity. That you don't see that very often. Actually, Blaze gonna try to get it. He does manage to get Logan, but they did not get the Uber Force, and Slemish is behind. I don't know if they know. Well, they know now, but it's just a soldier versus Slemish on a Scat 1v1. That's gonna bring back the entirety of Ford. Never mind, they backed up. They thought about it. Ford does not know what to do here.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Are you going to go in and get back capped? Or are you going to go back and then, get pressured from mid? They do finally decide to go back, but I mean, you kind of had to pick one or the other at some point, I guess.
Yeah, the Uber ad is actually big enough that they were able to just, kind of preserve their Uber ad. So they still have a 50% going here. Blaze is behind. Froyo's just going to be like, let's just go behind. If we keep sending players behind, they can't get mid, and Phelps actually going to die too, so Ford's 100% Uber ad is quickly dwindling into a 30%, and they're probably not going to be able to push mid just because froyotech ran behind twice in a row.
I don't want to see Ford second-guessing themselves like this, right? Like, even when they were taking fights that were, kind of middling, maybe even slightly losing, but they were doing it so confidently, so quickly, that's when they're winning fights. That's when they're winning rounds, So I don't like seeing them kind of indecisive, maybe debating or something. That's not going to win them rounds. Yeah,
that was according to the chat, that was a 40% Uber ad they lost, so they definitely had a whole minute there to be invincible work within, the flank of froyotech just kind of clutching that single-handedly, because if they didn't go behind there, that was almost assuredly not a round, but definitely a mid-cap for Ford. So curious to see. It looks like they're going to send rotate the Froyo combo into Valley, and Habib actually putting up the anti-soldier trap, so no funnel ad. Alpha's going to bomb anyway, land and get instantly vaporized. Skis does eat one rocket, but that's all they're going to get, so now that they're down one, I think Froyo's going to be a little more aggressive here. They're in Valley. Here comes the Blaze Bomb. it doesn't. What did he land on? Oh, weird. Blaze kind of caught out here, but he does manage to do a fair amount of damage. They're gonna lose Sandblast too, but what a scrappy fight. He's just in and he gets the force. Slemish gets the force, or that was Banny. Excuse me. Bead.
So much.
What are the Skis does not want to pop? Okay, I guess he doesn't have to. Oh wow, what a weird fight. Okay, that was impossible to cast. Froyo gonna be pushing into last year with 3 down a full Uber rad. Oh, they backed up. Habib wanted to go. He looked like it.
Yeah, these plays are amazing. You know, the longer a fight goes, the more likely it is that Froyo wins. I think is kind of the name of the game in probably all of Invite. You know, these players just know how to save their health, how to keep the numbers alive, how to control the high ground, deny space. So you know, the longer and longer you let him dictate the pace, they're going to do something.
Here comes the Uber straight into the Sentry, so the Sentry's not right off the bat. And look at this Uber, they're just in. They managed to kill Styles. They get 3. This is almost certainly going to be a last successful last push from froyotech. They have the numbers here to work with, and they're getting all the kills. They managed to get Mirrorman, but that's the only consolation prize. Is froyotech is going to go up 3-2.5, but not nearly as dominant as you'd expect from such a powerhouse like froyotech.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of these rounds, you think, you know what, Ford could win this for sure. Like they have all the tools, they have the strats, they have the plays, they have the mids, they have the the DM. They're ready to take these rounds, and they're showing them. They're putting them on the board, even here with a medic ringer as well.
Yeah, maybe it's just the froyotech does have a lot of experience, but maybe maybe they're getting tired from the best of having a double header back and forth. Looking at the logs here, looks like Logan's actually coming in clutch, doing massive amount of damage. So is Phelps, the scout ringer on Soldier, the unsung hero here, doing a lot of damage on Pocket. So you'll have to see. I'm surprised actually. Ford actually barely out damaged froyotech. So what a close match.
Yeah, so neck and neck. I mean, even these medic deaths are pretty close. I mean, Styles having 3 more deaths than Skis here, 7-4, but putting up such close healing, such close I mean, 1 more drop as well, and a little bit less on the healing front. But yeah, I love seeing this damage coming in from both sides. I love seeing the especially like the team fights, right? Sometimes matches are decided by individual players. I mean, we saw Habib and Slum just going crazy last match, but great play from Ford to just be in and in together.
Yeah, I will say also shout out to Styles getting 3 kills off medic, and it looks like we are going to be starting the second half right off the bat. So another mid. I wonder if what Froy's going to do to change their mids, because a lot of the mids have it's been cut up Ford Gaming so far. So I want to see if Froyo adapts at all, or they just kind of power through losing these mids.
Yeah, like when Ford bops Habib, that's when they win these mids. And if Froyo keeps Habib alive, then they're going to keep the mid alive, it looks like.
Yeah, it's always hard. Sometimes it's hard. And Logan actually gonna die very quickly, so I think Ford, they lose their demo. Whichever team loses their demo just is like nope, I'm leaving mid. Actually, Alpha was like 1 health and got that bow, and that saved his life. Shout out to Styles there in the big clutch, but Mirrorman's behind. I didn't realize this, but Mirrorman's in last, and they managed to kill Alpha. And now Mirrorman's in for the pinch. They do get Mirrorman. But what a scrappy fight. Sandblast is like in the middle of his team with 1 health. He's still alive, and he gets the force. Styles always 95.
Oh, he's so Styles 10 HP.
He gets the Uber. Oh, that was so close, and now it's just Bandy's gonna die. I think Styles was like double digit, like 10 health there, and he manages to hold right click and get it. But Logan gonna chase too far, and Ford gonna lose 3, and Froyo got the mid off the back of that, and they might try to push this to last.
I mean, this 20% ad is just barely not enough to go off of, but I mean, knowing froyotech, they're probably going to get like pressuring now, right? It's even it's a drive. They're going to make space here and now.
Oh, they're trying to chase Phelps on the low ground. They do eventually get him, but Bandy or Slumdish gonna trade his life for that, and Mirrorman gonna drop low. And now Skis is caught in with Alpha on his escape. Alpha kind of launches him out. Skis is so low, they manages to get enough. Bandy's trying to come in, but it's just kind of salvaging at this point, and that's a failed last push from froyotech. Got a little too greedy there, I would think, but Slemdish out on the sniper here, possibly for some kind of salvage play.
Howard unwavering on 1 HP for a good while in that fight at the end there. But that's the thing, Space Ghost. You do the same amount of damage if you have 450 HP as you do on 1 HP. So you just got to stay in. They don't know.
True, health is just a number. I don't know if they're spotted Slemdish here hiding in this corner, kind of in a little cheeky spot here. Alpha manages to find him. Slemdish's gonna surf though. Alpha almost lost that. That was terrifying.
Ford has a lot of space here. Yeah, Froyo even just kind of opting to give this up. Ford was almost bluffing, right? The soldiers weren't in this fight, so Ford was technically taking like a 4v5, which is better for Froyo, but Froyo just respected them too much and let them have it.
Yeah, Froyo's kind of very aggressive here considering the Uber. Styles actually drops to 7 HP, but does not pop in the end, and very noble attempt from froyotech, but in the end, Styles is going to hold on to that M2, preserve his Uber here in for second, but his Uber ad's dwindling pretty quickly. I don't know if Ford is going to go. They might realize that their Uber ad is basically non-existent at this point.
Well, that's where Sandblast on Spy comes into the equation. It's the unknown quantity.
And they're not on last too, so it's not like they can check in spawn. So I'm curious to see if they ever recognize that Sandblast is on Spy. They might realize something's up if they spot him, they accidentally spam him, or if they just realize, hey, Ford isn't sacking. I wonder what they are doing. So we'll have to see. But Sandblast is kind of in position in lobby. I think he's gonna wait. I think they're gonna double here.
Yeah, this is such little pressure from Ford. Even if you bluffed a little bit, right? That's how Froyo did so well with Mirror Man. They were pressuring the whole time, and now we kiss in the skybox. Alpha and Blaze flying high into the sky. The sacks do come in, but Sandblast doesn't seal the deal.
Yeah, someone of Ford has the Turtle Beaches, and Styles actually gonna get forced from Blaze. Blaze just in hitting the clean rocket, and Phelps is in though. Phelps actually. He got in so deep it wasn't able to get anything done, and someone's backcapping actually, a pretty noble backcap attempt, and Howard's actually gonna end up fighting pretty much the entirety of froyotech. But he did buy a little time for Ford to kind of, shore up this mid defense, but it's not gonna be clean because Froyo does have full Uber to work with here. They're gonna have to do something.
So much pressure.
Sandblast is in and he gets the force. He just kind of barreled in and held W.
When Sandblast wants something, he gets it. That's one of like the most entertaining parts of this player. Like he just sees like we need to force the meta, we need to do it now, so I'm just gonna get it, right? And no one can just accomplish a task in that way like Sandblast. So he's really saving his team these rounds. But we just need to not bleed so many players, right? They have Froyo has one behind. Ford is taking this fight still, and now they're able to salvage, but they just barely save Styles.
Yeah, I saw before that disastrous fight froyotech hit. I just would like to point out I saw Habib hit a sick air shot. It was very impressive, and then froyotech immediately wiped. Not, just a coincidence, but truly a tragedy. Is Habib hit a really wild, like across the map pipe from, if my memory serves correctly. And Ford's gonna take their Uber out here and try to barrel into second and maybe possibly get last if they play their cards right. But it's gonna be tough because Froyo's probably gonna get this Uber out trying to defend second. That's their goal here. Phelps actually gonna drop so low early on trying to make space, and it looks like froyotech is holding strong here. They actually managed to lose 3 before they even get the Uber pops. They're gonna have to pop this Uber here. Styles actually isn't popping, and he's dropped everything. It's just Styles. Where is Alpha?
This is a kill bind. Yeah, this is a waste of time.
They save Alpha. They're getting up.
No.
Okay, Alpha did play a little Minecraft. This is gonna be a wipe for Ford, but Habib does get Minecraft Steved in the end. Froyo gonna take mid here with their full Uber.
That's for all of our medic mains in chat. If you're Styles in that point where you're caught out so behind, you kill bind with full Uber. Like you drop your own Uber so you spawn faster, because look, Styles could have been on a 5-second respawn, instead went on a 21. Still down. Look, Skis already has full ad. They don't even need to use or anything coming into second.
That is true, but Habib down, hashtag worth. Speaking of that, Danny actually gonna almost... Okay, Howard is gonna fall in the end. Danny gonna drop very low, but it looks like yeah, Froyo gonna take second without using, which is not a good sign if you're a fan of Ford Gaming, because they're gonna have this Uber to work until last, and they do have the sentry up, but it's only level 1, and oh, look at this spam. They are gonna get the early force, and Alpha is gonna live, which is a good sign, but yeah, it's not looking actually, oh, here comes the Sandblast Putis, and they get Banny on the cap. Big bombing from Blaze. Styles does manage to get his Banny bind in off the end, but that unsuccessful last push from froyotech means that Ford is gonna have a big Uber to work with in second, but the important thing here is that Froyo did manage to have a bunch of people live, so this last push might be pretty tough. Howard in the skybox trying not to get air shot, gonna actually crater here. God, Ford is so hurt. Oh, Beeb, no.
Styles has such ad, but they're losing so many players here. Honestly, Ford has to leave. Man, he's even pressuring behind. Logan is doesn't know where to look.
Vaporizing, and Styles didn't even get. He had like 85%, and Ford just vaporized. It was looking so good for them, but it just ends up being a disaster. Absolute disaster.
Mirrorman says GR with the period after. That's some serious BM.
Yeah, the little bit of punctuation there can really hurt some feelings. I've seen that happen before. But looks like Ford gonna go down 2-4 here. So froyotech taking a match, their potential match point. Ford gonna have to win this mid and pull out some, pull out all the stops here to get this dub.
That's the thing, Space Ghost. You know they can do it. They've done it before. So they have to play so hot and fast in this mid. Let's see their initiative, right? I mean, Mirror Man this time taking point, and Blaze going for the high bomb. Logan had to back up for a pack. Sandblast does have a lot of great space here on point. Howard trying to make some space too, but again, looks Slemnish keeping the high ground. Blaze keeping the high ground. Blaze does go down though, so we're at a 5v4 for Ford.
They're down two. They're down 2 soldiers. They don't have any soldiers, and they're just in. They just have no fear. They have. It's really honestly impressive. Sandblast actually going to take like a derpy 1v1 Banny. He does manage to get him in the end, and that's going to signal the backup from froyotech. So both teams do manage. Both teams manage to keep their medics alive, but Ford wants more. They're going to roll into Valley here, going to see if they can get second off of the Banny pick. They might be able to, but it's going to be a tall order. Here comes Mirror Man. That eats the trap and then eats a pipe, so big play from Logan getting the soldier down. Sandblast some BM in the chat, but Howard's going to fall on a... Oh, they managed to get Slim, so now froyotech down 2, maybe not going to be able to push this. Styles gets forced.
Yeah, nice force from Blaze. I mean, it was just barely something Styles had to force to, but now Skis does opt to use this Uber. This actually seemed like one, if you ask Skis from any of these other rounds, Skis would have just milked this and kept the full ad, so I wonder what made Skis use in this case.
Yeah, sometimes you just know you just have to use, you want to milk, but you just see the situation, you're just like, oh, we're gonna have to exchange here, so that's what it is. And Ford Gaming kind of down 2 here, so they can't really hold on to mid, but their Uber ad is... The Ubers are close enough. They're going to be able to hold on to the second here unless something really disastrous happens. They have all their spawns. Ubers are basically even, so it should devolve into a stalemate unless froyotech just decides, we're just going to dry.
I do like the idea of like just peeking for the dry at least, because when Froyo was like 50%, they could have started to peek, but yeah, I guess they do. Like it is kind of safer to do this anyway, but even if you lose one player, you're going to get them back in time for the Uber.
Yeah. It looks like Froyo is going to just kind of chill here. Just, post up. They're up 2 rounds, so the ball's kind of in Ford's court if they want to do anything. Froyo can kind of sit and chill for a while, Usually, Froyo's not one of those teams that's speaking, which looks like Blaze is going to bomb in. And actually managed to bomb out, too. He landed in a very intelligent spot. And Phelps going to drop really low. This pressure from froyotech's kind of crazy, but they're going to lose Slemish in the end. So, that was a pretty good attempt. A lot of players dropped very low, so the potential was there, but they kind of just wanted to send a solo sack. So we might see a Slemish Sniper, maybe? I'm crossing my fingers. I haven't seen Slemish Sniper in a hot minute.
That every single froyotech rocket just does at least 40 damage. Ford is there just waiting for them to stop spamming, but every time they're just taking more and more damage.
Oh, there it is, the Slemish Sniper. As predicted, speaking of rockets, Alpha actually hitting some nice fat ones, but Blaze is behind here. Froyo's just pushing in, even with their sniper just rolling at a spawn off of the one pick, but Ford manages to get the force. Sandblast barreling in, and Ford's Uber is much better here, and Skis is caught out, but he actually might walk out because no one is... That kind of launched him out, and Alpha's dead behind. Slemish gets a pick. This is turning disastrous for Ford, and they're going to leave. The chaos from froyotech is crazy.
That's when you have one of those better Ubers, you need someone else who can do damage, right? Because when you force on a scout like that for Ford, the scout just doesn't have enough to work with. There's not enough damage out. The scout isn't loaded yet. But Sandblast now smells blood in the water. Knows Mirror Man is pretty hurt, but doesn't manage to get the pick.
I'm on the Slemish Sniper. I got to see the man. Someone's gonna peek him at some point. It's only a matter of time before he gets a kill somewhere. That's. Oh, speaking of which, there we go. There's a kill. Oh, someone peeked him, and now they have a pick to work off of. And Slemish just has a shutter he can peek. Oh, he's opting to go left here, and I don't think anyone's really ready for it.
Oh, I love this long rotate.
Sandblast on the counter snipe though, so it'll not what you expect to see. But Sandblast manages to get in on the sniper. It is all the scout mains are all good at snipers, so it's what you I guess like to see. I don't know, but. Froyo's so aggressive in lobby. I'm surprised that there's no attempts to pressure them here. The spam from froyotech is crazy.
Another alpha spy play here for Ford.
Oh, it's alpha. Okay, so it didn't work the first time, but again, Slemish is on sniper again, and he's 185 buff. I think did he hit a headshot? No, but they know he shot, so he knows, or excuse me. Ford knows that Slumdish is on sniper because they heard the shot. The op was really loud, and they do manage to get Phelps. I hear another headshot ringing out. Slumdish is just making plays, but Alpha manages to get skis in the post, so, you know, at least froyotech has a sniper to maybe defend, but that's going to be it. Blaze just actually got... Blaze bombed the sentry, and they got launched out by that same sentry. Just absolute madman.
Froyo doesn't even know the sentry has like 30 HP. Oh, it was such a free pick, but yeah, great pressuring from Ford, you know, getting the good pick onto the medic, not dropping too many players, but still forcing froyotech out of lobby.
Yeah, looks like a, you know, how do I put this? Pushing into a sniper is really obnoxious, especially if it's Slumdish, who's like one of the best snipers to ever play the game. So this is going to be really tough for Ford. This might not end well. Yeah, Phelps immediately body shot or piped, or I don't know what happened, but Phelps is immediately dead. They're going to just barrel through, but they lose Howard. They do manage to pick up Slumdish. Okay, sniper disaster averted, but Banny's on last, gets Alpha. I think that's going to be it. Banny just on the back cap, and that's going to be it. That's a 5-2. It was looking so good for Ford, but I didn't see where Banny snuck in, but you know, that's all they needed.
Yeah, you hate to see it on that yeah, just at the last moment. Especially Ford had a nice fight coming out of last there, but I mean, listen, really well played at froyotech. They came in pretty rocky coming up into those first mid fights against Ford here. You know, Ford coming really hot out the gate, but froyotech showing their mastery and turning it right back around.
Yeah, so looking at these stats, this kind of looks, you know, more in line of what you'd expect from froyotech. Slumdish actually played like 3 minutes of sniper that game, so only a 13-minute half. You know, just the 2 clean rounds from froyotech. So whatever happened first half, they fixed whatever was going on. Because looks like, yeah, these are kind of what we're expected. Slumdish having a good old time, Banny having a good old time. Even though it's Metalworks, you know, it's still scout class. So there's only so much you can do as the soldier class sometimes if you're playing against Banny and Slumdish.
Yeah, you know, we kind of saw this in the last game. I mean, the Froyo soldiers being a little bit low on the log here, but they're always kind of making those right decisions, right? Where they are going to maybe throw their life away, but because they know they have like a 60% chance to get the med. And if you get the med, then you're going to win the next 2 points or something like that. So a lot of like nice heads up plays from them. But I mean, with that being said, I love this damage coming out of Alpha as well with, yeah, top damaging actually in this last round in this last half, that is.
Yeah, looking at the combined stats here, we do see Logan managing to top damage distributor. Excuse me, not top that. That's Alpha, but Logan managing to do a lot of damage here. So did Phelps, mostly from the really kind of, you know, back and forth first half. The second half was kind of all Froyo, but yeah, it looks like in the end, Froyo does manage to take both matches. They won versus GCI a 5-1, and they won versus Ford Gaming a 5-2. So, you know, even though the Ford game was a lot more back and forth, in the end, it was really only a 1-round difference. So on the score, you know, in the end of the day, they're both pretty similar stat lines and at the end. So it's for a pretty dominant showing from froyotech and against 2 teams that are going to be in playoffs. So looks like it's going to be back to the drawing board for GCI and Ford Gaming if they want to, you know, manage to beat froyotech in playoffs.
Yeah, if I'm looking at these teams, GCI had really nice fundamentals. I mean, I loved a lot of their posturing for these fights and the mids and everything, but you know, they couldn't quite seal the deal in those longer fights. So they had the fundamentals, but not that X factor. And for Ford, they had that X factor. Oh God, it was more X factor than non-X factor, right? But you know, these times that they kind of slowed it down or let froyotech dictate the pace was when they started to drop fights, drop rounds. So I'm excited to see how these teams shape up here in playoffs.
Yeah, especially because Ford Gaming did have 2 ringers, although you know, it is kind of tough playing with ringers, but sometimes they do play well, and I think both Styles and Phelps, aka Happy Cool, I think they both did have very large impact, especially considering, you know, Phelps definitely considered more of a scout main, you know, top invite scout. The fact that he's ringing soldier and doing well is kind of impressive, honestly. So I big shout out to him for, you know, kind of pulling his own weight ringing on soldier.
Yeah, and talking about the medics as well, they're about the same number of Ubers, but 2 drops from both medics here, as our fans are asking in the chat. So yeah, again, a really like, you kind of nailed it where these ringers did have their impact, where if it's me playing a game with ringers, you kind of have to just ask the question, like, are they what lost us the game? And here the answer is no. Like these guys did their job, they did it well, they fit into the system, they were following up on the team's calls and damage and everything. So yeah, I love how they played, and that also speaks a lot to the calls and coordination of Ford. Like Sandblast, Sandblast is very clear and concise of what he wants to do when he wants to do it. So he's bringing all these even new faces into the mix. So really well played from Ford, all things considered.
Yeah, we do have Danny and Habib here for the post-game interview. So I assume you guys are probably pretty pooped from the doubleheader. So how you guys feeling? 2 dubs against 2 playoff teams.
Nah, we're used to playing till like 6 a.m. man. That's nothing.
Yeah,
That's
I could play another
I could
5
play
matches.
like five more games. Like,
But it was good. They were good games, I'd say. So feeling good about the wins as well.
Your mic
Over the
is a
playoff.
little
yeah,
robot but
I'll fix it. Give me a sec.
Optimus Banny.
yeah, no problem.
Transformers, robots in disguise.
Yeah, so against against kind of 2 playoff teams, how are we kind of going into the matches here against 2 playoff teams? Were you guys? I assume you guys weren't worried at all, but were you guys like worried about one match more than the other match, or well, you're just kind of like, all right, let's just go in and get these dubs, go home.
I'm assuming Banny's still fixing his mic, but honestly, nah, we were pretty confident to be able to take both teams down. But that's not needless to say that we weren't like expecting the best out of them. You know what I mean? Like we always, every team that we play in a match, like, we just go into it level-headed, trying to beat them. Not really too worrisome, honestly, because I think Ford and GCI, they're roughly the same skill level, so it's not really like one team. We weren't really too afraid of one match more than the other. It's pretty much the same, honestly.
Okay. And how are you guys feeling?
If I could just answer that one too. Yeah, I'd agree with Habib. Probably GlobalClan Ice, I would say, is the team that we would consider a little more dangerous usually. So it's kind of surprising that Ford actually, I think, put up a little bit of a better match tonight. Just based on, I guess, trajectory of both teams, Ford lately feels like they've been on a kind of a major downswing, especially considering that their main medic hasn't been around and they lost Sophie and all that kind of stuff. But tonight they came out with the all-out aggression to kind of neutralize that, I guess, or equalize it.
Yeah, we need a free Soapy in chat.
Amen. A free Soapy.
Yeah, definitely a free Soapy.
I want to hear about those mids on Metalworks, because when Ford came flying out the gate, just like almost in a straight line, beaming Habib here, on those mids that we were able to keep you alive, Habib, you completely turned it around as the halves went on. So what did you change as the mids progressed?
Well, yeah, what happened wrong was like my aggression was good, but I kind of like mispredicted like how aggressive they would be back onto me. For every acting force, there's an opposite reaction force. Newton's third law of physics. So if you hold W, they're also gonna hold W back into you. And so what I changed was starting off aggressive and then baiting them into me, and they got blasted in lower and top right, and they all died.
Yeah, a lot of it was, I think we had a couple people overextend on the mids. Like we would exchange some damage, maybe get a pick or trade a pick, and then we weren't really keeping everyone alive to just preserve the advantage. We kind of threw it away a couple times. So that was I think why they got a couple of those mids. And I'll also just mention that we previously played against the Yao men on Metalworks, and they actually came with a similar approach on Metalworks, and we lost 2 rounds to them as well because they just played with no fear, as if they had nothing to lose, and it actually ended up benefiting them more than if they would have played it probably a little more slow and all that.
Yeah, Metalworks can be one of those mids where aggression can pay off if you just get that instant demo pick or instant big pick. Can kind of get locked to the mid. I will say one thing to note, if you think all the way back to that Sunshine match, this might sound vague, but so maybe Rogue help me out here, but remember there was like a 2-minute straight where Skis just refused to pop Uber? Rogue, you know what I'm talking about, right? You guys were like, yeah, you guys were on mid and Skis was just not popping Uber. Were you guys... I'm just curious about, how did you feel about your Sunshine match in terms of, were you more worried about Sunshine or Metalworks? I know it's kind of the same question, but I think you guys seemed a little more dominant on Sunshine. Do you feel more comfortable on that map, or is Metalworks just kind of a rough map overall?
I think both maps are equal for us at the moment, but Sunshine used to be kind of our home map. So it's always been one that we favor and are comfortable on. Metalworks has always been a little more of a wildcard map, so I would say that's true. But as far as that moment where skis didn't pop, I
That's
think
called drop the world.
I'm gonna
Well-
pick the world up and I'm dropping on its head.
I think we were just maybe getting a bit cocky or indecisive. I don't know, because a lot of times the way I like to play is we'll have like one pick and I'm like, all right, I want to just snowball this instead of popping our Uber. We're gonna try to just hold our positioning or focus fire someone to make a bigger advantage without needing to use our Uber. And so I think I was doing that, and we just weren't finding the picks. And I think a big part of why that wasn't working in that specific situation is Sin Karma. I think he did a good job of not fearing and just like challenging us so that we couldn't just sit there comfortably. And we ended up kind of just either dropping people or taking too much damage to really stay in. And at that point, it wasn't worth popping at all. So yeah.
All right, thank you for the insight. Rogue, you have any questions?
That's it for me. Thanks for the great game.
Yeah, thanks for the 2 great games, actually. Yeah, it's a good doubleheader and both against 2 big teams. So might be seeing a rematch of one of these matches or both, depending on how playoff seedings work out. So we'll have to see. If I don't have any matches, I guess everyone can give their shoutouts. Banny, Habib, you guys have any shoutouts?
Sure. Well, shout out to you guys for casting the match, everyone for tuning in here tonight. Shout out to Dolphin for running the stream and for putting up with the sort of annoying scheduling yesterday. That was a surprise to us all, but it seems it all worked out. Shout out to all the teams going into playoffs. Hopefully everyone can close out the season strong, and I hope to see a good playoffs ahead. We have a match against Witness Gaming next week, so maybe another playoff preview for you guys. And then finally, of course, shout out to all of the people that are out there on the grind, trying their hardest to become the best that they can possibly be. And anti-shout out to the edgelords and the people that throw matches and the people that stir up drama instead of focusing on self-improvement.
Exactly.
All right, I'll give a shout out to production, shout out to skis, and that's kind of it.
Free Soapy. Shout out to the rest of the MCM guys.
That's true. Yeah, shout out hashtag free Soapy. I will say shout out to Phelps though, coming in as a kind of a scout main playing Soldier, and I think he's been holding his own on Soldier more than you'd expect.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. These do look good in the stats. I wasn't watching him super hard in the game, but yeah, I guess if that's all of our shoutouts, then that should be it for our doubleheader tonight. I have been Space Ghost and we've been casting with Rogue, and that has been our match for tonight.
Damn.